Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, the character of KYLO Ren was first introduced in The Force Awakens by J.J. Abrams, and now with Abrams back for Episode 9, it has really left a lot of the Star Wars fans around the world wondering as to exactly how J.J. will handle the character of KYLO. Now, we do know two things, is that he will be evolving the character significantly, and Adam Driver is going to have more screen time, apparently, in Episode 9 than how he did in The Last Jedi, which is always good news, right? So, the thing here is that I'm really crossing my fingers for a more sinister KYLO Ren in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we have been learning a whole lot more about Episode 9 when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the scene schedules, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which could very well be a hint of KYLO Ren's Apprentice being in Episode 9. Now, specifically, it goes over KYLO Ren sitting on his throne in a room that is full of metal and blue hue lighting. In front of KYLO Ren is a man in a black cloak, with a hood over his head, handing Kylo a lightsaber hilt that appears to also be a crossguard lightsaber hilt. The next description goes over KYLO Ren now standing and handing some obscure device to this cloaked figure. Now, I want to go over a couple of things here. Now, it seems as so that Kylo is indeed getting his own throne room in Episode 9, similar to what Palpatine and Snoke had, which is always great to hear, right? But the thing that really interests me, alright, what really piques my interest here about the character of Kylo and his potential new apprentice is that this figure is handing Kylo a lightsaber hilt that is very much like the traditional crossguard one, the iconic lightsaber that Kylo Ren has used in both the previous films. So with that being said, we actually have been going over some of the descriptions of Kylo Ren's new lightsaber before in the past, where apparently there are some modifications to it, where he's able to retract those two little mini blades on each side, the little hilts there, apart from the main blade, making it into a single blade. So perhaps this figure, whatever he is, an apprentice or a servant, we are not quite sure, but it seems as so that it could very well be Kylo Ren's apprentice, and I'll go over that in just a couple of seconds, is that maybe that this figure is the person responsible for modifying Kylo Ren's lightsaber in order to retract those two little mini blades into making it a single-bladed lightsaber. Now, we do know that Snoke at one point in time had a other apprentice before Kylo Ren. If you guys have actually read and researched the other canon pieces that fall under the Disney era, we do in fact learn that Snoke had at least another apprentice before Kylo Ren came into the equation here as, you know, a part of the First Order and the Master of the Knights of Ren. And it also does raise another question now, doesn't it? Could it very well have been that one of the Knights of Ren were the previous apprentices for Supreme Leader Snoke? That's another interesting question open on the table, absolutely. But as far as Kylo Ren's apprentice goes, I think it would be a very interesting angle for the Star Wars series. Another interesting angle is that maybe they're going to go down the route of Kylo Ren not having an apprentice and doing everything on his own, a one-man show here, where yes, he's the master of the Knights of Ren and all, but he won't have an actual apprentice like how it worked with both Vader and Palpatine, Snoke and Kylo, etc. Maybe Kylo Ren is just going to do things the way he wants to do things, and he doesn't necessarily need help. Now, I think that the real interesting way to go is if they were to essentially use some kind of inspiration from the EU, where Mara Jade does indeed come into play here, where Mara Jade, or at least a new version of the character, is essentially the, person that serves to Kylo Ren. She could very well be his apprentice, and that's how it was in the EU. In a sense, she was, a essential, like an assassin for Emperor Palpatine in the EU/Legends material. So if they would do something like that in Star Wars Episode 9, I think that that could honestly be pretty satisfactory for a lot of fans out there, and that could very well be a callback to what we saw in Legends with Palpatine and Mara Jade, etc. There are tons of things that Disney could very well cherry pick and kind of, make it their own in Episode 9. Now, I know a lot of you guys have a problem with that, which is perfectly fine and okay and all. I totally understand that. Some things from EU I feel should not be modified or altered in any way, shape, or form. So with that being said, if you're going to put Mara in this movie, make her the real Mara, right? The one that we all know and love. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.